do you think the team played with emotion?
Yes. I've answered that twice today, and this will be the third time. I think we were ready for the football game emotionally. I think the attitude of this football team is good. I think those players out there are playing as hard as they can, but we're not executing very well in some areas, and that's the problem. The game comes down to making plays, and I've said that over and over, and we're not making some plays right now. It's a game here. They made some plays. We didn't. That was the difference of winning and losing, and that's all it's ever going to be.
Okay, if they played with emotion and they're losing football games, it's not one game, we've lost 4 in a row now, that means that the personnel is not what you thought it was going to be. It has to be one or the other. Either
then I would have to say probably then the blame would have to go on me, because maybe that I don't have the personnel I thought I had.
Well, you're not responsible for the personnel.
But I do think, John, that we do have good personnel. I just think we're not executing very well. That's all I can say. I mean, plays come down to, you can't blame it. Say, well, this guy is not the right guy, or that guy's not. You've got to execute. A good team, a great team, is not made up of always the best players, but it is always made up of the players who play the best together. And there's got to be a chemistry. And right now it seems like we're playing where we play in spurts that we look like a good team, and then the confidence level goes down, and then we don't play very well. It's almost like the doomsday thing. We're expecting bad things to happen instead of good things. And
it's like winning can snowball, but so can losing snowball.
Anything's habit forming, and winning is habit forming, but so is losing. I just don't think this team likes to lose, and I don't think they'll continue to lose. I think we'll break out of it. I really do.
Do you agree that you've got to go out and get some, even though this is going to be the crux of your team, you've got to make some changes during the offseason, get some other people in?
Well, in answer to that question, I know what you're getting at, and you're getting me to say something that I'm not going to say, so that's not going to happen tonight. What you're saying is that I don't agree with what we've done. I was there all the time. I do agree. Now, we need some new people. But if you want to be realistic, since I've come here, we've made changes every year. And all those changes, for the most part, have been for the good. We have lost some good football players. We've lost some good draft choices that have gone to other football. There's no question about that. We know that. But I think when you run an organization, you either have a philosophy of how you're going to run it or you don't. Now, there's a lot of football teams out there who go out and get everybody on the marketplace, and they haven't been to the football playoffs in a long time. Now, that's all I can say. Whether we're right or wrong, it was the philosophy of the organization, which I agree with, that that's the way we were going to do things, John, and you just can't say.
There are teams that, good teams like Dallas and San Francisco and
where did Dallas get theirs, though?
Plan B.
So well, basically, they got them through the draft because of the Herschel Walker deal, which was a fantastic deal and a great move. And yet, the 49ers are just a fine, well-coached football team, very good football team. They seem to plug in people very well. They're operating right now with one of the best defenses in the league, and then, they brought Young in, and they have, they're an exceptional organization. They've also lost the most money of any team in football. So, I don't own the football team, and I can't get into those things. I'm just saying that there's got to be a good way and a bad way to do it. Now, what is business all about? Is business just to, go out and buy everybody up and lose? I mean, and lose money, or I don't know. I don't have the answer to that because I'm not in that end of it.
Yeah.
But I would think that people have to think about that somewhere along the line, John, because we've tried to do this thing intelligently, and I don't believe that we've done it stupidly. I'll be honest with you. Maybe we've made mistakes, and I'm not saying we have or we haven't made mistakes. On players, sure, it'd be nice to have this guy or that guy. We don't. But I think when you make a decision as an organization that this is what you want to do it. Now, if for some strange thing we would have won 2 out of the last 4 weeks, a lot of this
we wouldn't be having this conversation.
That's what I'm trying to say. And it just comes down to making some plays.
Yeah, but I think I know we've already.
And I don't disagree with what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, because Plan B, the Plan B situation was where you could get players for not as much money as a free agent. You could get them for a little bit more, but yet not give up to get. You see, not give up people to get.
I agree. And sometimes the worst thing that can happen is, as a coach, and I think to a degree that I'm guilty of this, that you can become enthralled with your own personnel, and you can become a little bit too loyal to that personnel sometimes. Now, again, I'm not going back and blaming anybody. If I blame anybody, I got to blame the coach. I can't blame, but I do feel there's a certain sense of loyalty on my part to people. And I've tried to keep people who I think can still help the Bears and play well within our system. Well, there were probably some people out there that could have helped us maybe even more or as much and would have fit into our system also, John, and we never went and got them. But that was part of my decision.
Okay, we got to get into the videotape. Let's take a look at the offense.
Why?
Well, because that's what you and I are here to do, is take a look at the offense. And in the beginning of the game, the first drive, things worked out well. You got a field goal, and you went ahead in this football game. But by and large, you know, Jim Harbaugh, as you know, you replaced him. He's been getting banged around a lot these last 4 games. You can't blame him for everything that's gone wrong.
As a matter of fact, I don't know who does blame him. I don't blame him for anything that's gone wrong. I just understand that, you know, a quarterback is no better than his receivers or his line or some other people. This play right here, I just believe this was a coverage sack because it looked like they covered it pretty well. Yeah, they covered it pretty well, and what he tried to do was bounce off which was really a bad route by the tight end. Now, that was an uncovered route.
Yeah, that was.
A terrible route by the tight end, and that's a rookie.
Okay, now you gained 54 yards on the ground, and
we really didn't have a whole lot going on the ground, really. We thought we could run the ball a little better.
Did you think you left it too soon on the ground, or you just couldn't
I don't think
run
there's any question you leave it too soon. But, John, we didn't have the ball in the second quarter at all, I don't think. So, you know, it's easy to sit back and, in retrospect, and say we left something too quick. You know, we're trying to score points. We're trying to get this thing back, and we're trying to get back in the football game. This was the interception on the double-seam route, and you know, what happened is they came up with a Bear defense, ended up with man coverage with a free safety, and really the side you would have wanted to go to was a tight end, but he got knocked off on his route. He never got out.
Well, Cecil
a good play by Cecil. Cecil's a good football player, so, you know, he made a good play on the play.
Okay, what was the main inspiration for putting PT in, just to get things changed?
I was hoping to get you know, I was hoping to get a little bit of a spark and hope. And even if we would have got something quick with PT, I was, you know, I'm not saying I wouldn't put Jim back in, and you know, I just let him sit and watch for a while. But
well, Willis was 16.
Hey, when you're struggling, you do a lot of things, and we're struggling right now. We are really struggling.
Wendell Davis, by the way, caught 8 passes today. So.
Wendell Davis is an excellent football player. And he can play with any of those guys in the league if you feature him and use him.
Okay. Stan Thomas got caught for holding on this touchdown. This was a key play of the game.
Well, of course it's a key play of the game, because you're going to tell me you can call holding on every play in the football game, and it's ironic that we're the people who have it called against us in a situation like this. And it gets a little frustrating at times. Not blaming anybody, just saying it's frustrating.
It's one of those things, like you said, this losing situation when it becomes a syndrome and everything
becomes Murphy's Law. What can go wrong does go wrong.
Okay, now, Jim Harbaugh, you've proclaimed all year he's your #1 quarterback, that he's the guy that is going to do it. Now, you got P.T. Willis. Are you going to play him next week? Do you know? Would you start him? Or he's going to get some playing time before the season's over, I'm sure.
We're going to make a decision during the week. I'll talk to Greg and the coaches, and we'll see what we decide to do. If we decide to start P.T., we will. Right now, I don't know. So I have to be honest with you. I want to look at the films, and I want to be able to analyze a little more critically than just looking from the sideline, John, because it's very hard to look from the sideline and see everything that's happening, where the breakdowns are. And I do believe that he had a lot of pressure on him, and that's why some of the balls he threw maybe weren't right on target. But he threw a lot of good ones, too.
Okay, we'll be back in just a minute to talk more with defense on the Bears. And, of course, there was one big play where the Bears made a mistake, Mike, which he cost a touchdown and put the Bears in the hole.
Well, they're on the 50-yard line, and they wanted to get the ball with a win. I knew they wanted to go deep, and they want to play action pass. And it's pretty hard for a corner to cover a post route on Sterling Sharp. Now, we have a safety in a position to cover him. And
now, it's the second man up there on the...
Well, I would say that's whose fault it is. It can't be anybody else.
That's a complete mental mistake. I mean, he couldn't have bit on that draw that much, but anyway.
Well, it was a lousy fake, so there wasn't nothing to bite on. So, but, you know, again, you know, this is a good sack by McMichael, and I think what it put him second on the all-time list. Who was first, you know? Dent?
Yeah, look at McMichael goes through 2 guys here and makes the sack. Good play.
Yeah, but yet people are still telling me I got to replace the old guys, but somehow the old guys are playing better than some of the young guys.
Yeah, but when an old guy is 35 or 36, you know it's going to come within the next.
Eventually.
Yeah, you got to. It's coming.
Well, this is what hurt us all day, really. We don't have any containment on the sweep here, and we get turned down. We come down inside on a play. Our defense, we have no linebacker gets in position. As you see, Morrissey gets buried. The safety gets knocked off, and they end up making.
Rushed for over 100 yards.
Yeah,
107 yards. It's the 3rd straight week somebody's rushed for 100 yards. Now, This
This-
was just give Favre some credit here,
Well, I just did a great job on this one, and he did a great job on the touchdown.
which
that he
we're going to
scrambled
see in a
for.
minute. Sees the pressure, or the Bears did a little twist there, and Trace Armstrong back in the lineup, but you know, when you get a quarterback that can move a little bit, this is where it comes through. They control the ball 35 to 20.